We're looking at a Category 1 hurricane. Michael continues to strengthen will continue to strengthen as it continues to head through the Gulf today. Located about 420 miles south of Panama City, will make landfall close there. That's the way it looks right now anyway. Moving to the north and northwest at about 12 miles per hour, so has picked up some forward speed, expecting that to continue as we head into the afternoon. Category 2 hurricane by possibly this afternoon, then a Category 3 later on tonight, and then heading toward the Gulf, perhaps the Big Bend area over toward Florida, making landfall as a major Category 3 hurricane. It's possible, folks. We'll be monitoring that. And then it's going to push into our state. And we'll start to lose some of its characteristics, of course, but we will experience some winds, especially in the central and southern portions of the state, and some very heavy rain possible here as well. For the Atlanta metro area, we're looking at maybe up to 2 inches, the way it looks right now on the current path. With the storm being to the south of us, most of that impact will be felt in the central and southern portions of the state. Here's how it plays out hour by hour. And you can see the storm by tomorrow morning getting ever so close to making landfall. It will do that tomorrow, at least by the afternoon, and then move into the southern portions of the state by the evening. I think the greatest impacts here will be felt late on Wednesday going into Thursday morning. Of course, when you wake up on Thursday morning, we'll still be experiencing some of that rain, some gusty winds as well. Should be wrapping up by the afternoon, getting out of the way. Drier air starts to filter in, and that's going to set us up for at least a better looking day by the time we get to Friday and Saturday before the next front comes back and brings more rain on Sunday. Sheba, back over to you.
All right, Chesley.